Hi, my name's Sean Grant and I've been a successful sales and commercial director in the online education space for the last 15 years or so, having worked across a number of different industries, whether that's professional qualifications or most latterly in the fitness industry. As a sales director, I see no point in doing the job, quite honestly, unless you can deliver best-in-class sales process, best-in-class sales training, and ultimately the best-in-class sales team for the organisation. And over the last sort of years that I've been working in this sector, I've encountered a lot of training programmes, and what I've started to find was that a lot of it was just simply reskinning the same old content. You know, let's just call the sales process some different names, and let's just basically rehash questioning as fact-finding or whatever we choose to call it. And I was really looking for something that was going to be treated as next level and was really going to open the sales team's minds, open the organisation's minds, and ultimately deliver a long-term sustained change in performance. And through my network, I turned up a meeting with David Thompson of Suada, and I knew straight away that we were going to work together. And although it took us a little bit of time to actually get that scheduled, me and my team have just completed a 12-week programme on sales mastery with David. And it's been fantastic. The feedback from the team, even the battle-hardened cynics in the team who've seen it all, were really, really impressed. And the content of the programme is quite eye-opening. Yes, there's elements which you find very familiar, and there's other elements which you just get a very new slant on. So to illustrate that, things like a session on positive mental attitude, you could almost hear people groan when you say, oh, not another session on PMA. But actually, the way in which David approached that was quite different to how I've seen it done in the past. And it really made people think, and I know that people in my team have come away with completely different ways of triggering the right attitude after a particularly grueling day in the office or a particularly grueling call with a customer. So the content of David's course is built around the principles of influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini, and David's one of the few people in the world who's actually fully licensed to deliver that element, but the programme is so much more than that. David wraps up a whole series of additional takes on what the sales process is and ultimately the skills of communication and influence, and that includes how to reframe within the conversation, deframe, reframe. It includes a completely different take on how to open up, the use of things such as what's known as the broad concept, a different approach to fact-finding, different approach to questioning, some of which will sound familiar to sales professionals, but I guarantee you will take something new away from this. And then there's elements of NLP used in there as well, and even elements of memory-based training. You know, how do you really embed the knowledge? And that to me was really critical in choosing to work with David. Not only has he helped us build out an even more rigid approach to sales process to help us drive consistency, but he's also helped us rethink our messaging across the piece. And that's been really fundamental in driving long-term change. You know, it's not hyperbole to say that we have built our conversion rates by over 20% since we started engaging with this process. So I'm absolutely delighted from a professional perspective as to what we've seen from David's approach, but also I can see the difference in my people and how they're approaching conversations in a much more mature manner. And ultimately we're now 6 months beyond completion of the initial training, and the change has been sustained. And that to me was absolutely critical in choosing David. The methodology he uses in terms of the teach back approach to the material has been fully embraced by the team, and they've all learned an awful lot from it. So yes, I approached any conversation about sales training which will transform your world with the degree of cynicism you'd expect from somebody who's been in a 25, 30-year sales career. But I have to say that actually David's lived up to and exceeded expectations, and I'm taking those teachings forward into broader range of communications and marketing messaging which we use within our organisation, and I have to say that I'll continue to work with David when the opportunities arise, and will continue to recommend him because he has delivered an absolute top drawer offering for us. that's ticked all the boxes I was looking to have ticked. Okay, thank you.